Hello, so I'm here in the Mossman Gorge, which is the southern end of the Daintree National Forest. So Daintree National Forest is one of the oldest rainforests in the world. It is even older than the Amazon, and it's a world listed heritage area. And there's two of them here in northern Queensland. The other is the Great Barrier Reef. Start becoming bare species. Kukuyalangi.
He said kookaburra. Folks, when you...
It was Chris.
don't be in. Now that you're here, I'm going to pace this around a ceremony, a smoking ceremony, around the fire. Hit my plastic together and speak in language. So we still hold and teach and speak our native tongue. Let it trickle just a little. Probably good to go in as a group, all together. That way, yeah. Gari baja kuyundo. Ngai go bubu. Bama ga bubu. Kukuyalangi. Hey.
You'll be the one that catches fire, no doubt.
I welcome you here, as strangers. Pushing the way back spirit from plastic, musical tunes, sing and dance, hunting. Yeah. Boomerang. Up to rainforest boomerang. That's like a number 7 when you look at it. This is the hooking one, you know, main. This is the battle against one another also. This one here, both male and female can carry. This will also be a digging stick. It has a bow to it, bent. Now that's when it travels to the egg, when you throw it. You add a hook stick to it. You add what is known now as a boomerang. And that sits on the end of it. It clicks in there, and then it gives you extra power when you're throwing it. They master the technique to hit their target spot on. It's all in one word. It's how you see it, how you speak it, how you receive it. Yalada.
Yalada.
Okay, welcome to the southernmost section of the Daintree National Park. This is the Mossman Gorge section. Most likely the only snake that you'll encounter in here will either be a scrub python or amethystine python. They are where they get the legends of the rainbow serpent from. They are absolutely gorgeous. The other snake that you may or may not see in here might be a red-bellied black snake. It's the only venomous snake that comes into the rainforest.
Where should we look for the pythons?
Up or down, actually,
Okay.
to be honest. But usually in the trees, but I have seen them on the ground. If everybody could move to the left-hand side to let people pass.
Apparently, this rainforest is over 1,000 years old, so it's definitely very, very old.
Awesome special.
Hundreds of dollars for a couple of grams. You come in here and
Has worked anywhere in Australia.
Did you feed them?
sometimes Sometimes. Some of the other guides feed them.
Hello, how are you doing? So I'm here in the Mossman Gorge, here in the Daintree National Forest, and this is the Rex Creek, and it's so nice and pretty.
And also Mysterious Girl, the song by Peter Andre.
Oh, that's right.
Which I still haven't looked up to watch. Oh, you still do. When we go into the mangroves more often. There. Oh, you cheating, you're not allowed to use your hand.
Charlie, do you think we go home tomorrow?
Come on, say guys, have some fun.
Thank you.
Try and stay dry.
Well, I'll see the survivors on the north side in about 45 minutes. It's been nice knowing you.
My name is Jaden. I'll be your tour guide for this afternoon's cruise. During the cruise, you are welcome to walk up the middle of the boat. If you'd like to take a photo at any point, Brandy Water Creek. You might nose the boat in this creek and have a quick look while we're here. Now you'll notice some trees on the left-hand side with small yellow flowers. This is called native hibiscus. Now you can eat those flowers, they're edible. They contain a tiny bit of vitamin C. The flower starts off yellow, but then turns red when it's pollinated. So these snorkel routes are underwater at high tide. We'll give you a good idea on how much the tide has dropped this morning.
Oh, there's the croc in the boat.
No,
So-
not the one on the boat.
There's the croc.
You can just
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
just see him there.
This crocodile's pretty
Good
famous.
much.
We call him Scarface.
Oh, that's him, is it?
Oh, that's Scarface.
You might have heard of Scarface.
Yeah,
before.
I've seen him before.
You'll see a big white scar on the side of his face. They're battle scars.
Photograph.
There's a mangrove tree on the right side I'd like to point out. The one with these flat wavy roots called a looking glass mangrove. That's the largest mangrove tree. Those roots are called ribbon or buttress roots. Now, if you look up high in the trees, guys, you might see some large brown growths in the trees. These are called epiphytes. We're looking at elk horns, stag horns and basket ferns. They grow on the tree, they don't affect or harm the tree. She's about 3 meters in length. Gets her name because of her skin colour. She's got lots of golden colour, marking and detail in the skin. Not one crocodile looks the same. All have different skin colour, marking and detail. If you have more salts, you tend to have more colour, detail and marking. The ridges along the crocodile's back are called osteoderms. Those ridges are filled with bone.
That'll make a nice pair of shoes.
You'll also spot a large pine tree on the right with light grey bark. This is called a milky pine. We come coming up on the right-hand side, you will spot our local boat ramp and our public walk. We call this the hub of the Daintree River. And that's peak hour. It's about the busiest it gets all day, every day.
It's magical, isn't it?
So these fruits end up like these little white apples that would be found elsewhere in the rainforest. If you have a look around, there's not much biodiversity in the flora of the rainforest here. These guys were one of the things that inspired me to look into how that can happen. They'll actually over photosynthesize carbon. So for carbon dioxide, they will over photosynthesize. They will produce an excess of carbohydrates, an excess of carbon, and they will pump those through their root system using the mycelium network, the fungal root network, which intertwines every root on every plant in the world. That its own genetic offspring over others of its same species. So it'd feed everybody, it'd feed all the kids in the neighbourhood, but it'd feed their own kids more. So pretty amazing stuff. Environment where there's so little light getting to the rainforest floor that some of the plants would actually germinate and get to this seedling level, and then when there's a break in the canopy and there's plenty of sunlight, immediately they'll start growing. So they found that some of these seedlings can stay at seedling stage with very little nutrients, very little moisture for up to 150 years. So now what they're doing is they're raising seedlings of these rainforest plants and putting them into dark storage until they need them, and then they can bring them out into the light and they will start growing immediately.
So I'm just walking here in the Daintree National Forest. It's a UNESCO World Heritage listed place, along with the Great Barrier Reef here in Cairns, Australia.
You'll also notice that along these trees, all of these trees, or most of these trees, will be covered with these white and green spots, patches, and some of the trees are covered so much that it looks like their own farm. That is the lichen. There are hundreds of different varieties of lichen. Lichen is the first of the plants on land. It is a dual organism, part algae for photosynthesis, part fungi for the nutrients and the water research. So lichen, before we go too much further, I do have to hug this one. It's very special to me. This is one of the cycads, the hope cycads, otherwise known as the Zania palm. It's not a palm, it's a cycad. As a cycad, it's a cone. So these guys, male and female, what's special about the male, they produce a cone that gets to about yay big, and just before the cone is ready to open, they will actually burn additional carbohydrates. Burning those additional carbohydrates will raise the body temperature. So it's basically the male plant going on heat like a female animal. That extra heat attracts the weevils and beetles that form the pollinators. It is a very, very primitive form. This one is unusual in the fact that it's a stringleafy that has managed to capture a Melaleuca, the paper bark. The Melaleucas, if you notice around, most of the trees around here will have vines or epiphytes or climbing plants of some description. woody lianes all climbing up them. But the Melaleucas are what we would refer to as clean skins. In the mining industry, they be clean skins because they don't add all that growth on them. This one here is Melaleuca. It's paper bark, soft, spongy.
I don't know what you do now. Take it home.
Cream. Wow. Oh my god! So it's being eaten and its defence is, oh, I'm being eaten, I better sauce myself so I'm even more delicious. So,
What is this colour?
you can have 6 or 7 different species, okay? And vice versa, one species can have 6 or 7 different common names. Mark about here on a neap tide. You've got the high tide way up here. All features share a border from the Daintree River up past Cape Tribulation. This is the only place that it happens. There is nowhere else. So pretty amazing stuff here. So this is truly where the rainforest meets the reef. That ridge that runs down and goes underwater and then forms the island. On the other, that's Kimberley, Cape Kimberley. And on the other side of that is a beach that runs to the mouth of the Daintree River. It's about 3 kilometres, 2.5 to 3 kilometres long. I went there on when I walked through the water, it was like 34, 35 degrees in the water. Just absolutely amazing, beautiful spot.
Hi, how are you? Very good. Yeah. You can either look in here.
Hello.
What are you doing? You can either look in here or on the menu board. On the menu board, I've got the flavours that have got the asterisks against them. Can I please ask you?